Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System's Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
Special recognition to the 1969 Southdown High School Eagles baseball state championship team, which they finished 13-1. And I think we have a couple of the guys that's here tonight. Could you guys come up front? Sidney Smith, captain. Nathaniel Thomas, Gerald Prince, Charles Wesley, Agard Commodore, Edward Williams, James Johnson, James Stewart, Laura Williams, Ray James, Don Johnson, Tyrone Bolden, Galen Wallace, Bobby Douglas, Ben Norman, John Flynn, Cornell Thomas, Saul Thomas Jr., Freddie Coleman, Herman Lyon, who is deceased, Tyrone Smith, who is deceased, Elroy Clay, who is deceased, Lester Brown, who is deceased, and Edward Wesley, who is deceased. Coach Leonard Neville was the head coach. Mr. Raymond Tiller was the assistant coach and AD, and he's deceased. And Mr. Donald Craig Mitchell was tactician. This is your 1969 state baseball champ from Southdown High School. And you guys want to say a few words? I'm going to say something real quick. We had something at I think Southdown about a month and a half ago, where pretty much the whole team kind of more like showed up, and it was a great event. A lot of these guys, some of you here and some of you in the audience might not know these guys, but a lot of these guys are legends in my neck of the woods, in my community. Basically, these guys here was, in my opinion, was the pioneer for me, for my career. Enabled me to move forward in my career and some of the things that I have done, not just me, but a lot of African-American athletes followed in these guys' footsteps with their leadership, with their dedication, with their statesmanship, and good people, real good people. So again, you know, what you're looking at today is legends. It's legend, and they didn't get the recognition back then, but we see fit today that we can't change what happened then, but we can move forward and go forward here. At this time, if Mr. Thomas or one of you guys want to say anything, you can address the board and we can go from there. Mr. Thomas?
I thank the Lord that he spared me to see this day. And I'm glad for my team, my coaches, and our community. This was a long trip. It was 2 years in the making of getting this together and getting us recognized. The pandemic stopped us the first time, but it didn't stop us the second time because I kept on pushing on for these guys to get recognized. And I'm thankful, Mr. Harding. I call him Dud everybody, so I'll slip sometime, but
it's not Dud here, it's Mr. Harding.
Okay, Mr. President. But anyway, we had good times, we had bad times getting this together, but we made it. And I want to thank y'all for recognizing us from the bottom of our hearts, and thank you.
James Stewart, second base.
Saul Thomas, left field.
Edward Williams, left field. Sidney Smith, center field.
Ben Norman, catcher.
Tyrone Bolden, third base.
Like Mr. Harding say, y'all are legends, you know, in my community, and not just my community, the things y'all did. Y'all are legends of Terrebonne Parish. And a few months back, I told South Terrebonne, they won one, and I'm like, guys, this is gonna be part of your life, and just so happened, they got the recognition then. So they staying on y'all, I staying on y'all, and I know I appreciate y'all as men. First of all, as the men y'all became and was leaders in the community. That was most important. People, I want the people here to know y'all just wasn't great athletes, y'all great men. You know, and I look at the names, and everybody in there I've been associated with, and each and every one of y'all have been fine men. now we go to the athletics part, what y'all did, and hearing the stories, and it wasn't, y'all had the best equipment, the best field, you had to work for everything you had, and y'all did what it took, and y'all didn't cry about not being recognized, so that will make it so important. 50 years later, y'all get this recognition. Man, this is wild. But guess what? I knew what y'all did. My community knew what y'all did. And you know, now I'm glad everybody else know what y'all did. You know, and I'm so happy. But I saw y'all growing up, and not just y'all. I saw your fathers, your family, Reverend Saul. You know, Mr. Saul, Dad, that was my partner. You know, and he watched over me. But I knew each and one of all y'all from as a young boy. You know, I watch y'all in the community. So I want to thank you. And I want everybody to realize y'all did a great thing back there as young men, but I like the life y'all lived after. I wish I can live that life. Y'all live a life as men, you know, when you won this, and you example athletes that my kid and every other kid can follow, you know. And then I'm hearing some names about the GOAT, because y'all played other sports. That's just what y'all main sport. I want people to know. You know, y'all did it all, but y'all made it possible for me and Mr. Hardy, and guess what? For the young people coming up, y'all did. So I want to personally thank you again. If I never did, I want y'all to know what y'all meant to me as a young man growing up. I wish I can lead that legend as y'all did, but one thing y'all did I could never do. I never won a state championship. I wish I would have, but I never did. So that's a big thing, guys. Thank y'all very much.
Mr. Ford.
So Mike brought up the GOAT. We know who the GOAT is. I've been knowing that name for 20 plus years now, right, Mr. Bo? Mr. Bo was a big part of my life when I was a young man too. And we played ball together, and he coached and he helped out. But we call him the GOAT because he still played ball, played basketball. And he was still good. I bet today he still got a jump shot. But like Mike said, you guys didn't just play baseball. You didn't just play basketball. You're pillars in this community. I knew of every one of you. I didn't know you personally. A couple of you I did, but I knew of you. And the names and the legend that you left. And if I remember correctly, this is the last year before the integration, right? So this is 1969. It's the last year. And I knew Terrebonne was hoping to get some of y'all on the team over there, but y'all was already done. And I know the stories, and I'm proud of you. Thank you. Thank you for coming out this time.
Dr. Tron.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm honored by your presence here tonight. I just want to thank Mr. LaGorde for that history lesson. A lot of things I didn't know, and I appreciate that. I just want to give you my personal thanks for forging the way, for I know countless young men that is better off today because you were here, because of the things that you and your colleagues did for this parish and moved us forward. We're not there yet, but we're a lot closer than we were. But I just wanted to give you my personal thanks for forging that way and laying down the road for the rest of us. Thank you.
Ms. Benoit.
Yes, I also want to thank you personally. It's so good to hear this story. I'm not involved in sports like these other guys are, so I didn't know the backstory about you, and it's exciting to hear that, and I'm proud to have you here tonight to finally honor you. I also want to say how sharp y'all look in those gray suit uniforms and the burgundy tie. Y'all all match.
I wish I'd have thought of that.
I love that. But, you know, lastly, you know, they touched on the fact that y'all were great guys in the community, too.
I mean, the history book speaks for itself. I mean, you all guys, like I said, all legends, good guys. The only thing Ms. Benoit talked about the suits. I think one guy suit might be just a little bit out of whack, but we're not gonna mess with him on. I can mess with him on that. So
We got a relationship, guys.
yeah, we got a relationship. So we coach together in TPR, so I can clown with him like that. Bo, you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say something. I know nobody don't know this, but I was one of the first black guys to play American League baseball too.
Wow.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you, guys, man. Look, appreciate everything you guys have done. We appreciate everything you guys are going to continue on doing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.